Hi everybody, welcome back to Cleff Notes, the blog, which I have been running for 5 whole weeks now. Well, wait, no, 4. You'd think I'd be better at count. My mom's a math teacher. Okay, everybody, this week we're looking at 1954's Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. This movie was, as I said, released in 1954, directed by Stanley Donen, who would later go on to do Singin' in the Rain and a bunch of other musicals for Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, MGM, that studio. It starred Howard Keel and Jane Powell. Alright, here's what you need to know. A wild mountain man named Adam comes down from the mountain. It is in Oregon. It's 1850. He goes into this town. He just decided earlier today, he needs a wife. So he goes into this town. He's looking for a woman. He sees this cook outside a bar. He's like, she's pretty. Goes into the bar. Tries her cooking. Falls in love with her cooking. Instantly, she falls in love with him instantly. It's beautiful. They go to the pastor. The pastor objects. Neither of them care. They get married. They go up the mountain. She's excited because she's like, oh, wow. I'm gonna be a married woman in the middle of all of this nature and get to be alone finally with my husband. But he does not tell her that he has 6 brothers. And so she gets there and she's surrounded by mangy redheads. It's like if Archie Andrews cloned himself 6 times and was a baritone and could dance and made up his mind whether he wanted to date Betty or Veronica within the first 15 minutes. Over the next 2 months, she starts whipping these 6 men into shape. She makes them shave. She makes them take a shower. She teaches them to say grace and have table manners. Then 2 months later, she takes them down the mountain to a barn raising. They fall in love with the first girl that they see, essentially. They have a big, epic, acrobatic dance number, and then they tear down a building. They literally, there never was a roof on the place, so I don't guess you could say that they blew the roof off the place, but the place was blown. So later, they go up the mountain, they've ruined their chances. So Adam, he's married, doesn't have any of these problems. What are all of you sitting around here crying for? And then he reads them a story from Plutarch about the Sabine women who the Romans kidnapped. And they're like, that's a great idea, we should do that. There's a musical number about it. So they go down the mountain in the dead of the night and they kidnap 7 women. The 7 women that they fell in love with at the barn raising. And then they cause an avalanche and they trap the 7 women on top of the mountain with them. Millie, the bar cook lady that Adam married, she's furious. And so he runs off to the hunting cabin like a baby because he can't handle a mature adult relationship and being called out for his stuff. And so during all this, the brothers and the girls fall even more desperately in love. Millie has given birth to the child with which Adam knocked her up with. Adam has returned and he's had a change of heart and he's like, y'all need to take them back down the mountain. The fathers and brothers come up on this, guns drawn. They're like, oh no. They're prepared to hang all these men from a tree. They get all the girls together and they're like, okay, we heard a kid in the bushes. Whose is it? And every single one of them says, mine. And then they have a shotgun wedding, and that's when the movie ends, just with, all of them saying, I do, the you may kiss the bride, and then the fathers just standing in a row behind them with armed weapons. Romance. Fun facts about this movie: the studio wanted him to film it twice, once in CinemaScope and once in a more standard version that most movie theaters had. And then they never even used the version that was not CinemaScope in the first place. They just stuck it in storage and it's still there to this time, day, place. And it was also a struggle getting dancers cast as the 7 brothers because the producers were like, nobody's gonna believe that a bunch of classically trained ballet, Broadway tap dancers are gonna be woodsmen. It's just not gonna work. They used real birds in some of the scenes when they're up in the wilderness surrounded by nature. And some of the birds were stupid and didn't realize that the backdrops were backdrops, so they flew full speed into the painted mountain and then just hit the deck. And it was a grand old time for everyone who was having to act in the middle of it. The avalanche scene that appears in the movie was done completely with miniatures in the studio. Like, they created Tiny Tokyo for Godzilla. Alright everybody, that's it for this week. Don't forget to like, comment, click, and subscribe. Or dislike and tear me to shreds. I feel like I should have a sign-off. I don't have a good sign-off. Should I sing